Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked, where I climb the online Regulation G VGC ladder in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and provide live commentary as I go. In this video, I'm going to be showcasing one of the craziest teams that I've tried so far in this format, and it features Sentret. This team actually finished number 58 at the end of the June ranked season on the in-game ladder, which is so impressive because the sets on this team are just absolutely wild. There's Focus Sash Sentret, there's Loaded Dice Torterra, you've got Covert Cloak Calyrex Ice Rider, you've got Encore NDD Male, you got Fling Iron Hands with Assault Vest, and you also have a Choice Band Dark Urshifu that's min speed designed to operate under Trick Room. Now, obviously, what's really interesting about this team is Sentret. You might be wondering, why would anyone use this Pokemon? First of all, it gets access to Follow Me, and redirection is always valuable in VGC, allowing you to set up moves like Trick Room from Calyrex Ice Rider. Sentret also gets access to Frisk, allowing you to identify your opponent's items immediately when you bring it out, and that's really valuable. And this set also has Endure as well as Endeavor, so you're able to hang on from attacks, sticking on the field for longer, and Endeavor is really nice because Sentret is so frail, so often it's going to be brought down to that Focus Sash, and then you can just bring things down to 1 HP immediately. This is especially valuable when Trick Room is set up because you can just Endeavor something, bring it down to 1 HP, and then knock it out with whatever Sentret's partner is. Sentret also gets access to Knockoff, which is nice in removing items and can be a big threat to Calyrex Shadow Rider in particular as well. I'm so excited to feature this team. When I saw that it not only just was a team that was created, but finished so high in the previous ranked season, I knew that I had to try it out. So as always, I'll do a quick breakdown of the team, but if you want to just skip to the battles, check out the timestamps down below. And thanks so much as always for joining me. If you enjoyed, would really appreciate it if you consider leaving a like on the video or subscribing to the channel. It really helps out a ton. Let's dive into things. If you're interested in trying out this team, the rental code is on the screen, and there's also a PokePaste link down in the description below. This team is really heavily centered around setting Trick Room up. You've got Calyrex Ice Rider as well as NDD to set up Trick Room, and you've got ways to support it. For example, Iron Hands to go for Fake Out when you lead it with Calyrex Ice Rider, and of course the Sentret here with that Follow Me. The goal, of course, is to set up Trick Room and then to try to knock your opponents out as quickly as possible once Trick Room is set up. Sentret's really valuable because it can help set up Trick Room easily with that Follow Me support and Focus Sash, and if Sentret makes it past the opening turns and is brought down to 1 HP while Trick Room is set up, you can just start going for Endeavor and letting its partners basically pick up knockout after knockout. Choice Band Dark Urshifu, when it's min speed, is remarkably powerful under Trick Room because of course you can't protect in front of it, and the Torterra here just does massive amounts of damage to so many Pokemon in the format, and you also have Wide Guard support with it to protect you from things like spread moves such as the Calyrex signature attacks. This team is also very anti-Calyrex Shadow Rider, which is nice. You've got 2 normal types, Wide Guard and Torterra, and Fling from Iron Hands as well as Wicked Blow, so you have a really nice matchup into one of the most popular Pokemon right now. There's a really in-depth team report for this team written by the original creator in Japanese, so if you're interested in checking it out, I'll link it down in the description below. Like I mentioned, this team is really impressive because it was able to finish rank 58 at the end of Season 19, which is the June 2024 rank season, and it talks about why Sentret was chosen over something like Clefairy and how the team came together, and of course what each individual EV spread does on this team. One of the things that also stands out is this recommended kind of suggestions for how you can play with the team, such as Sentret Ice Rider with Dark Urshifu, and one of Iron Hands or Torterra being the premier mode for this team. And once again, to finish rank 58 with this is so impressive. Like, to get that high on ladder in general is already impressive, but to do it with this kind of team is so remarkable. So huge shout outs to the creator for building and sharing this team with the world. Breaking each individual set down, the first Pokemon, of course, to highlight is Sentret. Like I mentioned, you're mainly going to be using Sentret to first of all help you set up Trick Room and then disrupt your opponents, especially if that Focus Sash is activated. Endeavor to bring Pokemon down to 1 HP and then finish them off with Calyrex Ice Rider. This Sentret has max attack investment. Sentret's EVs don't really matter that much, but max attack is nice, so you can at least do a little bit more damage with knockoff, which can be especially relevant into, for example, Calyrex Shadow Rider. You also have the rest dumped into HP and defense, and this helps you when you go for Grass Terra against Water Urshifu Surging Strikes. What's kind of interesting about this Sentret is it tries to reach a specific HP stat of 102. You could actually probably accomplish the same thing by just taking the EVs out and having a higher IV Sentret, but the idea is that Sentret wants a lower HP, but wants it to be high enough so that when it goes for Endeavor at max health, it's able to not activate Citrus Berry on Incineroar when they're max HP. So kind of a unique niche case. I don't think like this really makes that much of a difference in most of the matchups. You could easily just like have no HP investment, for example, with 0 IVs to just have a stronger Endeavor right from the get-go before the Focus Sash is activated. Or of course, like I said, you could find a higher IV Sentret and then dump the remaining EVs, for example, into defense. At the grand scheme of things, it's for pretty specific use cases. But yeah, otherwise, this Pokemon is really meant to just be on the field, disrupt your opponent, really scare them as soon as you bring it out, and cause a lot of trouble immediately. Sentret plus Ice Rider is going to be the main lead for this team. This Ice Rider is basically optimized so that you can take Astral Barrage from Calyrex Shadow Riders a little bit better, so you're not just max HP, max attack. You've got a fair bit of special defense investment as well, and it's Covert Cloak with Dragon Terra. Covert Cloak is the main surprise here because it's going to catch opponents off guard. They're often going to try to click Fake Out into your Calyrex in order to set up or in order to deny you that Trick Room, but with Covert Cloak, of course, you can ignore that, which is really nice. Clear Amulet's normally the item that people use on Ice Rider, but I think because when people see this team, they already expect Incineroar to not be a very good pick, you kind of get away with using Covert Cloak and helps against Fake Out from things like Iron Hands and Rillaboom, for example. You've got a couple of Trick Room sweepers here. The Dark Choice Band Urshifu is really valuable, and this is just so strong because when Trick Room is set up, normally people will try to protect in order to stall out the Trick Room, and people expect Urshifu to be a fast Pokemon, but when you're min speed, you're actually able to outpace a lot of the format, and you're able to just go for these really powerful Wicked Blows with Choice Band, with Dark Terra, with that critical hit. You can get a lot of one-hit knockouts quickly. You also have Assault Vest Iron Hands. This is fairly standard, but the main thing to call out here is that you've got Fling instead of Heavy Slam. The team creator mentioned that they weren't really using Heavy Slam very frequently anyway, and Fling can be really nice to catch opposing Calyrexes off guard and deal a meaningful amounts of damage, and so it just gives you a unique tool that people generally won't anticipate, and a tool like this can single-handedly win you games in best of one. You've also got this Torterra, which is really cool. Torterra in general, just not a Pokemon you see very often in VGC. It obviously has some pretty bad weaknesses to things like Ice, and so you have to be careful, especially because this is Stellar Torterra. You're still going to be weak to Ice even if you Terra, but the idea is that under Trick Room, this thing can just put out massive amounts of damage. The Shell Armor means that you can, of course, avoid critical hits, so this is really valuable into opposing Urshifus, and Loaded Dice plus Bullet Seed means that you can knock things out when they normally carry Focus Sash, right? So Water Urshifu with Focus Sash, Pelipper, for example, Chien-Pao, Bullet Seed, and Rock Blast can all put on a lot of pressure against those Pokemon, which is awesome. Headlong Rush is also nice for a very powerful attack. You get the same type attack bonus coverage as well. And Wide Guard's nice just to help you against all those spread moves that exist in the format, whether it be, for example, Glacial Lance, Astral Barrage, Water Spout, Origin Pulse, just to name a couple. And so the Torterra can double down as support when necessary, which I think is really cool. The final Pokemon on this team is Indeedee with Psychic Seed. This is interesting. It basically gives you another Trick Room user that also can deal decent damage with Expanding Force. And Indeedee is valuable because we are in a format where Miraidon's one of the most common restricted Pokemon. Of course, that is able to set up the electric terrain. So having a way to control the terrain is nice, but Rillaboom doesn't really fit onto this team very well, especially when Torterra already exists. So Indeedee is nice because, first of all, it allows you to change the terrain into Psychic. 2, Expanding Force and Shadow Ball can actually do meaningful damage. 3, it gives you another Trick Room setter. And 4, Encore is a move that can just single-handedly win you games as well. I know that if I were to fight against Indeedee, I would not expect Encore at all, so this is a move that can really catch your opponents off guard as well. So like I mentioned, kind of the main mode with this team is Sentret plus Calyrex Ice Rider as a lead, and then pick 2 of the 3 in the back, Torterra, Hands, Urshifu. The team creator highlighted Urshifu as the main pick. I actually find that I often like going with Hands and Torterra, but 2 of these 3 are strong. Other leads to consider for Trick Room include Sentret, Indeedee, as well as Iron Hands plus Calyrex Ice Rider. With Iron Hands Ice Rider, you threaten Fake Out plus Trick Room. And with Sentret Indeedee, it's a little bit more passive, but the Indeedee, of course, is valuable because it can set up that terrain immediately, and that can be disruptive, especially if your opponent tries to go with something like Rillaboom, for example, as a lead. So, yeah. Anyway, that's it for a quick breakdown. Now let's highlight some weaknesses. In terms of weaknesses, the first thing that I want to call out is that this team definitely really thrives off the element of surprise. So if your opponent knows the sets, if they've seen this team, it can put you at a pretty big disadvantage. So just consider that as the team potentially gets more popular. Now, in dealing with Sentret, I think just knowing its moves in itself is a big deal. Some ways to stop it include Surging Strikes from Urshifu. Of course, you can Grass Terra to get around it, but if you don't Grass Terra, Strikes can just knock you out. And obviously, that doesn't feel very good because it just kind of ignores the Focus Sash. I think I've also had opponents who kind of just ignore Sentret and target the Calyrex Ice slot. I've had games, for example, where I'm like, oh, I'll just go for Endure as I try to set up Trick Room with Calyrex, and my opponents ignore the Sentret and just aggressively target down Calyrex, and that puts me in an awkward spot. For example, with Sentret Calyrex Ice Rider, if you have Wide Guard, that can be kind of annoying because then you're kind of forced to go for either knockoff / Endeavor plus high horsepower to get knockouts. And if Sentret's Focus Sash isn't activated or if it's not at lower HP, then the Endeavor into high horsepower sometimes won't even be able to pick up knockouts. So that's something you have to watch out for. In dealing with Sentret, you could either try to just knock out it immediately or ignore it. And so those are some of the ways that my opponents dealt with it. Ice Rider here obviously has Covert Cloak, so you're actually going to be able to be affected by Intimidate, so that's something to watch out for. Nothing on this team has Protect other than Ice Rider, by the way, so that's something else that my opponents have sometimes taken advantage of. Torterra in particular is going to be weak to the same types that it's weak to even if you Terra. So I've had opponents who save their ice type attacks in Pokemon for the end game, for example. Chien-Pao with an ice type attack like Ice Skull Crash, for example. Just really anything that can hit this for super effective damage. I've had opponents who also predict it having Wide Guard, and so they kind of just ignore it and don't use their spread moves when up against Torterra. I think other things to consider is that the Urshifu, of course, is Dark Terra, but that means you are still going to be weak to Fairy and Fighting, even if you Terra, and so potentially being able to take advantage of that is valuable. I played against one team that had an Amoonguss, and Amoonguss is interesting because you do have Grass Terras on so many different Pokemon like Sentret, Hands, and the Torterra's Grass typing, but a defensive Amoonguss Terra can still be tough, and generally just Pokemon that outpace everything here under Trick Room when Trick Room is set up can be scary. And I think with this team, if you don't win the game while Trick Room is set up, sometimes it can be hard to close out the game because then you're just outsped pretty consistently. So those are some things to watch out for. Rank number 38 for the first game here today. Okay. Tornadus Kyogre, Dragonite Chien-Pao, Serena Urshifu. Dragon Terra on the Calyrex is going to be a big deal here. In order to try to set up Trick Room, I could see them leading like Tornadus Kyogre. Kyogre Serena is really scary. We've got Wide Guard here on the Torterra. Sentret as a lead is also interesting. Like I could go Sentret plus Calyrex Ice, Torterra in the back. I don't think Indeedee really makes that much sense here. It's probably Assault Vest Iron Hands in this one. Dark Ursh isn't terrible either, but I think I like Hands. So if they go with something like a Kyogre lead, what I can do is Terra, Calyrex turn 1, Trick Room, and Endure with Sentret, and then turn 2 Endeavor, Glacial Lance. I thought about leading Torterra plus Calyrex. I think my fear with that is running into like a Chien-Pao Dragonite lead, for example. And I think if you're my opponent, you have to be a little bit cautious of just leading Kyogre because you're staring down a Torterra and Iron Hands as well as an Urshifu. But let's see if Sentret can put in some work for us in this one. I think other possible leads we could have considered. I mean, we really want to get Trick Room up in this game. I don't think Indeedee is really that strong in this one. It's going to be Kyogre and Serena. Okay, makes sense. I think my main fear here is probably Taunt from the Serena. Wide Lens, which is expected, and Mystic Water. Okay. I'm going to go for Follow Me here, Terra, and Trick Room. I'm hoping Serena goes for Taunt, Sentret tanks it, and then we can just go for the Endure combos, like I was talking about next turn. That would be amazing. There's Terra coming out. The thing is, Serena here could just opt to attack, so I thought about going for Endure, but I think if I go for Endure, try to Trick Room, and then get taunted, it is a complete disaster. Here's Follow Me. Hoping to see, like, Water Spout Taunt. There's Water Spout. Yep, this is why we go for the Terra with Calyrex. Sentret gets brought down to Sash. Cool. Nice. Let's go. Okay, sweet. Trick Room is now set up. Okay, now we're in business. With this, we can go for Oops, not Endure. Endeavor. Glacial Lance. I'm hoping they, like, protect Serena, expecting Kyogre to, like, not really be in much threat by Sentret, and then just get destroyed by Endeavor plus Glacial Lance. Either way, that was exactly the turn 1 that I was looking for from my opponent, so... It makes sense to double protect right now. Wish we were up against a choiced Kyogre. And then, of course, if they double protect, I'm going to reveal the Endure, but there's not really too much counterplay to it. So let's see. Normally, Serena wants to run Power Whip, Triple Axle, Taunt, Protect as its moveset. Kyogre wants to run... Yes! Oh my gosh! No way. I can't believe it. Yes. Oh, they didn't even protect with either Pokemon, so we get a double knockout. Sentret allows us to redirect Taunt to prevent the Taunt from stopping Trick Room, and then gets the Endeavor to allow Calyrex to pick up the knockout. I'm so happy. Oh, it's so fun showcasing stuff like this. Endeavor is kind of just an underplayed move in VGC. I feel like back in the day, we used to see it on Whimsicott. This is way back in like 2011. Whimsicott these days generally struggle to fit it on, especially because a lot of people have moved to Covert Cloak as the item of choice onto it. Okay, here's Champao. And Dragonite. Okay, this game is still not over, so let's not get ahead of ourselves quite yet. We have to respect Extreme Speed from this. Got Torterra and Iron Hands in the back, though, which is good. Can't follow me. This should be Inner Focus. You can Normal Terra. Extreme Speed right now. Torterra in the back. I think I probably want to switch Sentret out right now into Iron Hands. And then Protect with Calyrex. Switching out Sentret allows me to use it for redirection later, but right now, since I'm taunted, they can just Sucker Punch into the Sentret slot, and then like Normal Terra E-Speed into the Calyrex slot. There's Terra, onto Dragonite, yep. It is indeed going to be Normal Terra. To which now Iron Hands can just Drain Punch into that slot, which is pretty awesome. Calyrex is going to Protect here. I wonder if it was better to just sacrifice Sentret in that spot, honestly. But, yep, they do indeed go for Extreme Speed onto us here. I would expect Sucker Punch, but maybe they just like Ice Spinner. Nice. Beautiful. With that, I think I'm happy to just Drain Punch here and Glacial Lance. This should be Choice Band Dragonite, so we just want to get the knockout onto that slot. I guess it'll be a little bit spooky if E-Speed gets the knockout onto Calyrex and then Drain Punch, even with Super Effective and Sword of Rune, doesn't knock out Dragonite because they're like multi-scale instead of Inner Focus. Okay, here's Extreme Speed. Yep, they're going to target down Calyrex. That's going to get the knockout, but that's fine. Calyrex faints. I'm just so happy with Sentret's performance in this game. We did exactly what we wanted with it. There's Drain Punch. They do survive. Okay. And it was a crit, so they're actually multi-scale. I think it's okay, though. Obviously, they can just Extreme Speed right now. But I can just bring out Sentret, right? Go for Follow Me Drain Punch here. Yeah. See, if we knew they were multi-scale, would have been easy to just click Fake Out Glacial Lance and we would have been able to win the game. Choice Band and Sash, no surprise there. Last turn of Trick Room. So yeah, Drain Punch here. Follow Me here. We'll survive Icicle Crash, and then it's going to be Torterra and the Iron Hands against Chien-Pao, so we can just go for Rock Blast as well as Drain Punch. Perfect, there's Follow Me. Here's Extreme Speed. Thank you for your service, Sentret. Oh, it's been so strong in this game. Great, we get the knockout there onto Dragonite. Should survive another Icicle Crash here from the Chien-Pao. I think my main fear now is probably missing with the Torterra with Rock Blast. We're gonna Icicle Crash again. Yep, we survive. Cool. Rain stops. Trick Room expires. Now we bring out Torterra. I guess if I had Urshifu as my last one, would I have won this one? Probably. We're just going to Drain Punch here. I mean, Rock Blast should just get the knockout. I'm not confident on Bulletsy getting the knockout, so it sucks that it might come down to whether or not I hit the Rock Blast. But they might also just target Torterra here, so let's see. But it would be such a awesome way to end this by using Sentret in the early game and then winning with Torterra against this team. So my fingers are crossed right now. And if they target the Torterra slot and just let me Drain Punch them, then we also should just win the game because we heal back so much from it. They also have to hit another multiple more Icicle Crashes, right? So there's always the chance for them to miss as well. Oh, they actually target Torterra. Okay. That's smart, though. Basically, what they're playing towards is going for a flinch here in this endgame, because they know that if I go for Rock Blast, I'll just win the game. So now they're playing towards a crit or a flinch onto the Iron Hands. Yeah, Drain Punch heals us. I mean, what a crazy game this was. I think it'd be funny to end the game with Fling. Okay, Icicle Crash comes out. We survive with 5, and we don't flinch. I could not have asked for a better game here. Wow, that was absolutely crazy. The main thing that threw me off a little bit in this game was the Dragonite actually being inner focus, or sorry, not being inner focus and being multi-skill instead. Like I said, if we had known that, then it would have been go for Fake Out plus Glacial Lance, but I think it's generally fair to assume that it's inner focus because you really don't want to Fake Out into inner focus, and that's part of the reason why multi-skill is a really nice ability to go for in close team sheet best of 1 play, because you can just catch your opponents off guard and they're generally going to respect the most common option in inner focus. But Sentret was amazing for in this game, right? It was able to redirect that taunt on turn 1, able to get the Endeavor to just allow us to knock out Kyogre, and then of course it was able to provide us the support with Follow Me so I could get more attacks off with the Iron Hands as well. Yeah, it's a shame that Torterra didn't get to finish off the game with Rock Blast. That would have been awesome, but I think to end the game with Fling from Iron Hands was also so funny. So what a first game here. That was picture perfect. All right, we've got a Calyrex team here. Calyrex, Chiyu, Indeedee, Weezing, Galarian Weezing, Tornadus, and Urshifu. Well, we have so much anti-Calyrex with this team, right? There's Wide Guard on Torterra, there's the Shadow Ball on Indeedee, the Wicked Blow on Urshifu, the Fling on Iron Hands. Got a lot of options here. Knockoff on Sentret even. I think ideally I still want to set up Trick Room in this game if possible. What do I want to lead with, though, I guess is the question. We have so many options. Their team is so specially oriented as well. Like, I'm interested in Iron Hands because I can kind of just go for Fling with this immediately. But I'm also thinking of just going with Sentret, Calyrex. Torterra in the back. I feel like Urshifu is good here with Wicked Blow. Indeedee isn't bad either. All of our Pokemon are good here. Okay, I'm going to go with Urshifu. But I don't know. I think all of the Pokemon were actually quite viable in this one, so we'll see. In terms of leads, like I thought about leading Indeedee, for example. I thought about leading Iron Hands plus Calyrex, which will allow me to threaten with Fake Out immediately. The problem with that is if we go into their Calyrex Shadow Rider, Chi-Yu, and then Chi-Yu Ghost Terras, then suddenly I can't Fake Out either Pokemon. But I guess I could then protect Fling in that scenario. But it's going to be Calyrex Indeedee. Okay. What do I expect here? Helping Hand, Expanding Force, maybe? Which would be pretty spooky. Okay. Terrain set up. And Psychic Seed on the Indeedee. Not a surprise there. Refresh Choice Specs. Ooh, okay. I think they're going to go for Expanding Force, personally. So I think what I want to do here is... I mean, we resist Expanding Force. No lie, turn 1, I kind of want to just go for Knockoff onto Calyrex and then protect with my Calyrex. Sorry, Knockoff with, to remove their Focus Sash. Or sorry, not Focus Sash, Choice Specs. Okay, they just went for Expanding Force. I'm guessing Indeedee... I'm surprised not to see Follow Me or Helping Hand here. I'm wondering if they would ever click Trick Room here, expecting me to Trick Room. Ah, it's Imprison. Okay. How is this Pokemon real? Oh my gosh. Okay, the game's not over yet. Let's take a deep breath. Let's calm down. I'm worried about Will-O-Wisp now from you. You're imprisoning me, so you can burn this. This is where... I mean, Imprison in general is just kind of annoying, but it's okay. I feel like I should probably just fish for a free switch in right now, right? Oh, I'm running out of time. Uh-oh. Okay. As they go for a Helping Hand with okay. And Dazzling Gleam. That's fine. I timed out here because, yeah, I wasn't expecting... Okay, we end up locking the Glacial Lance anyway, so that's totally fine. Oh my gosh, that's just so much damage. I can just go into Ursh now. But because we're min-speed Ursh, their Dazzling Gleam is actually kind of scary, so I think it's actually better to go into Torterra right now. Anyway, what we were going to do with the Sentret slot was irrelevant. It was just, yeah, Calyrex being able to Glacial Lance there. I was just so caught up by the first turn, but let's see. I mean, I do have Wide Guard here. I'm kind of down to just Wide Guard Glacial Lance. Maybe Weezing goes for Will-O-Wisp here. Could Headlong Rush. We have Ursh in the back, which could be a decent Terra candidate. Okay, I'm done a Headlong Rush Glacial Lance here. Did he just goes for Follow Me? That's fine. Sludge Bomb, okay. I mean, this should just be a double knockout, so it's 3v1 now, and they haven't Terra'd yet. Yep. Cool. Nice. I'm surprised Weezing came out immediately. I cannot believe we got a knockout onto Calyrex Shadow Rider with knockoff Sentret. I mean, regardless of what their last one is, we still have Terra available, so I don't see how they're getting out of this. Weezing and Inity are both just more setup-oriented Pokemon and passive Pokemon. Okay, their last one's Urshifu. Nice. It's Water Ursh, so Terra Calyrex here is perfect. We can just go for Bullet Seed onto you, Terra onto you, and Trick Room. I can see why they didn't bring Ursh out first, though. Well, you were actually stopping my Follow Me with Indy. Oh, they're actually Grass Terra, okay. Yeah, they were stopping Follow Me as well as Trick Room, so the Imprison Sight's actually pretty annoying, right? Because it blocked multiple of our moves, but that turn 1 knockoff just ended up being huge. Like, what could have been bad is if they just went for Expanding Force and attack with Indy on turn 1. I thought that was something like could be possible, but then you risk Calyrex just setting up Trick Room, right? Nice. Here's Surging Strikes into Dragon Terra. But I think they would have been better off bringing Urshifu out first instead of the Weezing, so you have a little bit more offensive pressure. But since we had Dragon Terra here on the Calyrex, I think we were fine in this game. Mainly, I didn't realize how low we were getting on time there. So, I think the play I would have made there was just knockoff / Endeavor plus Glacial Lance that turn. And, like, yeah, the Weezing being Sludge Bomb Dazzling Gleam is interesting. Weezing's not exactly the most offensive Pokemon, so I'd rather run into that than, like, the common support set that you'll see with, like, Will-O-Wisp or Taunt, for example. But now we can just Rock Blast and Glacial Lance. I can't believe it. Sentret. Oh my goodness, this Pokemon. I can't. Alright, we've got the classic Miraidon here with Miraidon, Whimsicott Hands, Fire Pond, Ursh, and Farigiraf. Dragon Terra on Ice Rider is good. We can lead in Hands, maybe. We have to respect Farigiraf switching in. Indeedee here is not bad because it allows us to, one, change the terrain, and then expanding force damage from this is actually pretty sweet. Question is, do I want to lead Sentret? If I went Ice Rider Sentret, what am I at risk of? Iron Hands, Miraidon lead, maybe? I think I probably want Calyrex, Indeedee, Hand Sentret. Torterra's Wide Guard. I don't think Wide Guard's super helpful in this one. Nor do I think our attacks are that helpful. Ursh is really weak into Iron Hand, so I do think it's these 4. My main question now is in what order? I think I probably prefer Iron Hands lead here with Indeedee and Sentret in the back. Just because this pressures Fake Out Trick Room immediately. One thing to also think about in this game is to just click Glacial Lance. But I felt a little bit awkward leading Sentret here because they have Fake Out pressure from their Iron Hands, and we can't protect with Sentret. And you could lead something like Iron Hands plus Miraidon, for example. It's going to be Urshifu and Ogerpon. Okay. Dragon Terra here on Iron Hands is excellent. I think I want to just Dragon Terra here. I would expect Hands or Farigiraf in the back. Terra. Trick Room. Yeah, we have Indeedee in the back. Yeah, definitely Terra Trick Room here. The thing is, part of me wants to not click Fake Out and attack instead. Because Farigiraf could switch in here. So I'm thinking about Drain Punching Ogerpon. They didn't switch though. Okay. So it could have been just Fake Out Trick Room here, turn 1. I don't mind playing a little bit more offensively though, because getting damage on the board means then that they're just at risk of getting knocked out a little bit quicker when Trick Room is set up, right? Okay, they just Surging Calyrex. Yeah, this is where Dragon Terra is awesome. Works for me. Wonder if they doubled up here. Ivy Cudgel as well. Beautiful. Nice. Yeah, Tracking Terra is so good here. Good chunk of damage from Drain Punch. Sweet. Trick Room gets set up. I am now happy to just go Glacial Lance and Wild Charge, I think, into Ursh. My opponent's caught in an awkward spot, right? Like, the best thing you can switch in right now is probably your Iron Hands. If they switch in Iron Hands, though, my Indeedee can come out. Indeedee is actually a pretty significant offensive threat in this game. But it would be great if we could get Indeedee out after Miraidon is forced out. Okay, they're going to commit the Terra here. That makes sense. Terra Fire Pawn. Oh, no, Ursh. Huh? I guess they're going for... Oh, I see what they're going for. Follow me here. Yeah. That's smart. Okay. I like that play by them. And then by going for this, you can Terra Stellar Close Combat, get the knockout. But playing down a Terra is... Like, I'll gladly take that because I can just Wild Charge, obviously, to KO the Ursh. But I think this is smart because they recognize how big of a threat the Calyrex is. It doesn't even KO. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Calyrex is just such a bulky Pokemon. That's why I was surprised they were willing to commit to this. They bring out Farigiraf now. Okay. With Farigiraf, you can look towards reversing Trick Room. I'm happy to just Glacial Lance here. I could see them Aqua Jetting. So this turn, it's a question of whether or not they Aqua Jet, because otherwise Wild Charge Glacial might just KO Farigiraf. So it's... Do we think this is going to protect? My Indeedee also, by the way, could Grass Terra and set up Trick Room again. Okay, I'm gonna double Frig. Oh! Interesting. There should be Miraidon coming out. So I think they were expecting me to switch in Indeedee, so the idea was... That was actually a really smart play to counteract Indeedee switch in. But now they are gonna get punished pretty heavily. Yeah, so if I had actually just gone for the KO here onto Ursh, I probably would have won the game, but I think one of the plays to consider there is Protect Ursh and Farigiraf Reverse Trick Room. In this case, I actually don't even mind the outcome too much because now I get a free switch into the Indeedee. Wild Charge here. Do I want to go into Indeedee or low-key do I want to go into Sentret? No, I think it's got to be Indeedee here. So now if you're my opponent, you protect with Urshifu and then pivot Miraidon out into Farigiraf. Right? 2 turns of Trick Room left, though, which puts them in a pretty tough spot. So I can Expanding Force here and Drain Punch. Yeah. Which should do meaningful damage. If I had Torterra over Sentret in this game or Urshifu over Sentret, I think the endgame may have been easier for me. Urshifu actually would have won us the game immediately, I think, because I would have been able to just Dark Terra that. We could blow into the Miraidon slot. So, back Sentret, maybe not the most effective pick in this game, but wanted to try it out. Urshifu detects, yep. There's Drain Punch, solid damage. Okay. And Expanding Force now. I wonder how much Fling does this next turn. It's the last turn of Trick Room here. So Urshifu switching into Miraidon certainly makes a lot of sense. I would like to get a knockout ideally onto this slot. Got Sentret in the back. They might just sacrifice the Ursh here. Okay, I'm going to double up on an Ursh. Nice, they switch. That's huge. Unless we don't get the knockout with Expanding Force and the Drain Punch. But I think we should. Because Hadron Engine also activates here. Or sorry, Quark Drive activates because of the electric terrain. Don't care too much for the seed on the Sentret, or sorry, on the Farigiraf here. Nice. Great damage from Drain Punch. They're gonna Psychic us. Okay, that's fine. And here's Expanding Force to finish off Miraidon. Cool. And I think now I can Terra the Indeedee, right? Into Grass. They've already used their Terra Stellar Close Combat. And they used Aqua Jet. So... Oh, I can't Terra. Just kidding. We already committed Terra. Setting up Trick Room is fine. Don't know if we even really need to. I think I'm happy to just Expanding Force and Wild Charge Ursh. What's the worst case? They Protect and Psychic into hands. That's fine. Okay, Ursh does detect though, so nice play here. I could also see them Trick Rooming if they were trying to like reverse my Trick Room. But it's fine to take this Psychic for now. 152 down to 74. 152 down to 74. It's actually more than I would have liked. Trick Rooming there probably would have just won me the game. It's fine though, I think, with Sentret plus Indeedee. Because I don't think Strike should KO us, given that you should be Focus Sash. So I think we can just Expanding Force here. And Wild Charge again. Okay, cool. They try to go for the double, but it fails. So that should just win us the game. Nice. Single target Expanding Force here. Gets the knockout onto Urshifu. Sentret will close the game out for us, I think, because I'll be able to just go for Follow Me Trick Room. My Psychic comes out. Yeah. I can go Follow Me Trick Room. They'll get us down to Focus Sash, and then Endeavor plus Expanding Force. Alright, Sentret hits the field. So Trick Room here. Follow Me. Is there really even a point in clicking Follow Me? I think it's fine to just Endeavor outright here. Yep, they just Psychic. Okay, Sentret gets brought down to 1. I do think in this game, if I had just Dark... Like, even though we're going to win the game, if I had Dark Urshifu or Torterra, the game would have just ended a lot sooner. Dark Urshifu was actually really well positioned in this game to just come out and click Wicked Blow into everything, but I didn't love bringing it in a matchup where they had Iron Hands. I'm actually kind of surprised Iron Hands didn't come out for them in the end, but yeah. Anyway, now we can just end the game with Sentret going for knockoff, which is so satisfying. I can't believe it. This Pokemon is seriously no joke. Like, it's mainly just the fact that, first of all, for best of 1 ladder, being able to scout out your opponent's items is actually really helpful. Like, that's how we were able to win that second game. And then being able to just Endeavor everything is so awesome. And redirection is always valuable when you're trying to set up Trick Room as well. So I'm amazed, and I'm happy that in this game we were able to showcase back Sentret rather than just leading it. And leading Sentret would have been a disaster for us in this game, I think, because they had the Ogre Plum plus Urshifu, so Urshifu would have been able to just Surging Strikes and KO Sentret, and that obviously attacks us through Focus Sash. Alright, we've got Groudon here with Iron Valiant, Raging Bolt, Sableye, Entei, and Fluttermane. So what do we have to worry about? Will-O-Wisp from Sableye. Precipice Blades obviously is kind of threatening. Torterra does have Wide Guard, and we've got Bullet Seed to hit Groudon, and if they Fire Terra, we also have Rock Blast, which is kind of cool. They have no terrain control, so I can use Indeedee to set up Psychic Terrain, and by setting up Psychic Terrain with it, it blocks any potential shenanigans from Sableye, which is a big deal. So the question is what I want to lead with. I don't think Hands is that good in this game. I want Sentret. Is it crazy if I go Sentret plus Indeedee instead of Calyrex? The idea is like this sets up Psychic Terrain. Sentret. I'm down. Sentret, Indeedee, Calyrex, Torterra. I also think my opponent's going to see this lead and they're going to be like, what in the world am I going up against right now? But basically the logic here is I don't want to lead Iron Hands. I think I just don't want to bring it in this matchup because it's so weak into Groudon. If I Grass Terra, I just become weak to Heat Crash. And I think Ursh is not the easiest Pokemon to bring either. It's going to be Sableye and Iron Valiant. Okay, that works for me. Yeah, so the advantage here is Indeedee sets up Psychic Terrain, meaning that you can't go for Fake Out, really any priority moves with that Sableye onto my side of the field. Booster Energy on the Valiant, okay. We get our Psychic Seed activated. Eject button. That's good to know. Okay. So what do I want to do here? Trick Room for sure. I could just Expanding Force immediately as well. I don't hate the option though of just going for Trick Room here. And Endeavor onto Valiant. Oh, it's Gravity. Is there Hypnosis coming out? Okay. That is going to be pretty spooky because I have no way of stopping this, essentially. Would have been nice to bring them to 1 HP. I could have gone for Follow Me there instead, but I was thinking they would maybe attack into Sentret. It's still okay, to be honest. Like, not the end of the world. But they're going to probably just put Sentret to sleep right now as well. And I think I would just burn a turn of sleep here. Yeah, no point in going for Follow Me or Endure. I didn't expect Gravity, though. That's really nice. Could have gone Follow Me, Trick Room instead. Sableye hard switches. Probably just out into Groudon now. Yep. The thing here is they're hoping to get some good sleep turns, right? I think if I end up eating like 2 or 3 turns of sleep on everything, I'm going to be in a tough spot. But if I get an early wake up, it's going to punish them really heavily. So Sentret burns 1 turn of sleep now. We do stay asleep with Indeedee. Okay. I have Grass Terra on this, which allows me to get around Precipice Blades. It would mean not tearing Ice Rider or Torterra, which honestly might be okay for us here. Wide Guard is what I want to expect from this later on in the game. I'm down to Terra here to deal with Precipice Blades. And Endure here. But yeah, like I said, if we just get maximum sleep rolls, I think I'm going to be in a really tough spot here. The way to have stopped this was to just use Follow Me turn 1 with Sentret and maybe Expanding Force, but I definitely didn't anticipate Gravity Hypnosis. But I should have. Seeing Sableye with Groudon, like Gravity is obvious. Just Iron Valiant's not a very common Pokemon, so didn't see the Hypnosis immediately. Sentret, unfortunately, stays asleep. Yeah, they're going to Moonblast into that slot. Okay. Presumably Precipice Blades now. Yeah. Alright, Sentret. Sorry you weren't able to do much in this one. Yeah, Hypnosis was just as effective as a way to stop us as possible. Okay, we do manage to wake up, so we are back in business now. I am going to bring out Torterra right now. Now, in my opinion, I think my opponent should Terra this. Ooh, I also have Encore. So I can just Encore your Groudon into Precipice Blades. And we resist you. Yeah, wait, that's really nice. And Bullet Seed into Valiant. I expect Groudon to Terra or Protect here. I thought about predicting the Terra, right? I can just go straight for Rock Blast, but yeah. If we can bait out the Terra, that's huge. I'm also not sure I needed to commit the Terra to Indeedee here. Okay, they go straight for Wide Guard, but I could have just Bullet Seeded Groudon there. Interesting. That's fine. Okay, let's see if we get enough hits here. Nice. I think we only need 4, so no need for a 5th. Nice. Cool. I'm surprised they... Yeah, I guess the thing is, though, like, what would you expect from Torterra, right? This is where I think if I had Terra with Torterra, it'd be really nice, because I could just go Terra Stellar and then go for Bullet Seed to get a knockout. But now you're locked into Precipice Blades. Here it comes out again. Nice, and we take that really well. We also have Wide Guard, right? But I think Groudon is probably going to want to switch out this next turn into whatever their final Pokemon is. Sable, I don't think really will do much for them. So there's their last one. It's going to be Entei. Okay. With Entei out on the field, I don't mind going for Expanding Force here. And Headlong Rush to try to eliminate this. Yep, Groudon switches. I'm hoping it's Banded Entei here and that we just get the knockout, but let's see. Sableye comes out. Ah, they are not banded. Okay. So that was an opportunity to just aggressively target the Sableye slot down since we knew Groudon would likely switch out, but it's fine. Like, I can still double up onto this slot next turn. I would still expect it to be normal Terra. Gravity is no longer... Terrain disappears, so now I'm worried that Sableye has Fake Out. If you have Fake Out, this is bad for me. Although I guess I have Encore, right? So I can Encore you. Part of me wants to read that they switch out. You know I have Encore, though, is the thing. I'm going to Encore Bullet Seed because I could see them switching. Oh, okay. Oh, they're just going to Extreme Speed, right? Nope. So they let me Encore their Protect. Okay. I'll take it. No way. Yeah, like Encore Bullet Seed put them into a really tough spot. But if they had quashed the Indeedee, it would have been fine. Although, yeah, like I'm kind of surprised they let me just Encore them. Also, the game was not over by any means, but I guess they were just really frustrated by like Entei being locked at that point. But we'll take it. I wish Sentret was able to accomplish more in this one, but we were able to showcase like the Indeedee plus the Torterra. Torterra was really good here. I actually think like if I had staved my Stellar for it, like it would have been able to maybe just knock out everything. I'm surprised to not see the Terra from Groudon a little bit earlier. But if I were to replay this game, I'd probably have just gone for a relatively safe follow me on turn 1. I just didn't expect Gravity Hypnosis coming out immediately. So that was cool to see. But yeah. All right, we've got Miraidon here, but Miraidon, Frigorif, Hands, Urshifu, Ursaluna, Regular, and Tornadus. Ice Rider generally is pretty good here. Indie for terrain control is big. Dark Ursh is really good. I haven't brought Dark Ursh out at all, so I'm thinking maybe we should give it a try. I just want to bring Torterra because of Headlong Rush into Iron Hands. I don't like my hands that much in this one. What do I want to lead with? Indeedee. I mean, Ice Rider just puts on so much offensive pressure immediately. Ice Rider. Sentret, Indeedee. It's between Torterra or Dark Ursh. I think I like Torterra a little bit more because of its matchup into Iron Hands, which otherwise I'm a little bit worried about. In this game, I'm deciding to lead Sentret. I think, like, if you want to set up Trick Room with this team, the possible leads that are best are Sentret plus one of the two Trick Room users. So Sentret plus Ice Rider, Sentret plus Indeedee. You could go Hands plus Calyrex as well. You could go Hands Indeedee, but it's kind of counter to intuitive because you set up Psychic Terrain, so you can't actually fake out non-grounded Pokemon. It's Miraidon and Dark Ursh. Okay. Oh, I might actually go for Endure on turn 1 here. If you're my opponent, I think you should Volt Switch Specs and Sash. Ooh, Specs and Band. Okay. Volt Switch to go out into Frigorifs or Iron Hands. Wicked Blow. I'm thinking about clicking Endure on this and then tearing with this to take Volt Switch plus Wicked Blow. If I go for Follow Me... I'm going to try this. It's a little bit risky because I guess they could Dark Terra Ursh here. But they're not tearing, which is a good sign. I guess they could just Draco Meteor, but like, I think in this position you almost always Volt Switch to get better positioning. It would make me so happy if they actually doubled up into Sentret, but I think you'll probably target the Ice Rider here. But either way, we're going to click Endure. Yeah, it is going to be Volt Switch. Oh, I might faint here. Let's see. Assuming they double up onto that slot. The ban makes a difference here. They may have just clicked Close Combat instead of Wicked Blow as well. Yeah, there's Iron Hands coming out. Okay. I maybe should have led Indeedee in this one, but... Okay, they went for U-turn. Nice. Now out into Frigorif, I assume. Yep. Okay. You get your seed activated. You get Trick Room up. I've got Indeedee, I've got Torterra. Indeedee Expanding Force is pretty awesome. I want to take care of Iron Hands here, like ASAP. So I'd love to high horsepower this and Endeavor this. Okay, no fake out. Does Drain Punch KO me? Ah, it does. Oh, it crits. I don't know if you get that KO without the crit, but they did have the attack boost. That sucks. Okay. I think because if we knock out Iron Hands there, we just eliminate the biggest threat immediately, and then you're stuck with 2 choice users while Trick Room is up. Although they may be reversing Trick Room with Photograph. Yeah, they weren't. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay. So we're brought down to Sash now. That's okay, though. This is still definitely winnable. Can't heal, but that's fine. I will bring out Torterra. Problem is I also committed my Terra already at this point. I would think Ice Rider was bulky enough to take that, but we can do the damage calc after this game, since they did have the Quark Drive boost. I think my main debate here is actually, do I want to... If I were them, I would reverse Trick Room with Photograph right now, so I actually want to eliminate Photograph. So I'm going to Bullet Seed into it, and Endeavor into it. Okay. They have Fire Punch. I guess that's fine. But, not the most fun hand set to run into. Fire Punch is not that common. It's normally Fake Out, Drain Punch, like Wild Charge, Heavy Slam, sometimes Close Combat. And I really think because they went for Psychic Noise, if we had gotten that knockout, like, they wouldn't have Protect on any of Urshifu, Miraidon. Like, I think we would have been able to just knock out everything. Now the problem is Fire Punch is a big deal as well, because you can just KO Torterra. I don't really see a way to win this now. Unless... Unless we think Headlong Rush is a one-hit KO onto this. And I go for Follow Me, sacrifice this, KO you, and then end up with it into the end game. I guess like a crit with Bullet Seed. Okay, I'm gonna go Follow Me, Bullet Seed. They're gonna Terra. Into Ursh, yep. Ghost Ursh. Huh. That actually... I'm surprised they went for that. Oh, it was specifically to deal with Endeavor, I suppose. Yeah. Okay, Fire Punch KOs us. The problem is I need this knockout right now in order to win the Terrain War. Bullet Seed. Ah, yeah, it's not enough, even if, with 5 hits. If I had saved my Terra for this, maybe. I guess the upside is Shell Armor means you can't crit. We also only get 4 hits. They U-turn. Wait. With U-turn, there's maybe a slight chance? Because you pivot out into Miraidon, meaning I actually win the Terrain War with Indeedee. I feel like we definitely have the tools to win this one. Choice Band Dark Ursh is not easy. They made a nice double up turn 1 onto Ice Rider, which was definitely the right play. Yeah, I think the crit turn is just the big one. I'm curious how much of a difference it made here. But them going for Ghost Hair at least means I do have Expanding Force right now available to me. But I think if you're my opponent, you should just switch out Miraidon. Yeah, there's only one turn of Trick Room. Actually, you don't even need to switch out. You just sacrifice. Never mind. The game's over. You just sack a Pokemon, so then you get the free switch into the Urshifu. So I'll click Expanding Force, but it doesn't really make a difference here. The way they could throw this game is if they like actually switched out. But I don't mind losing this one. I think my opponent played well. The lead was really oppressive from their end. Oh, Expanding Force also does nothing there. Jeez. Volt Switch should just deliver the finishing blow. Nope. Dark Ursh will finish us off, though. Basically, the way we needed to win this game was to knock out Iron Hands immediately so that they're stuck with Miraidon and Urshifu under Trick Room. Fire Punch was also a huge deal, because if we were just up against the regular Iron Hands with, like, Wild Charge and Drain Punch, Torterra can survive for longer, but the fact they had a super effective hit into us was really bad. So, yeah, this was, like, them having an unconventional move on a standard Pokemon, which is a really strong way to catch your opponents off guard, and then also making really good plays, right? On turn 1, for example, if my opponent had targeted into Sentret and Calyrex didn't take any damage, I would have been in a really good spot as well. And of course, the critical hit happened, but I'm curious how much that crit mattered, so let's take a look. Unfortunately, that crit definitely mattered. We were at 86 HP with Calyrex Ice Rider when we got hit by Drain Punch, and so even from max attack Quark Drive Iron Hands, Drain Punch does maximum of 82. So I honestly think that if that crit had not happened, we would have been in absolutely phenomenal shape, because I would have been able to just Endeavor everything. That being said, I guess they did have the surprise of Ghost Terror on Dark Urshifu as well, so there is a chance I would have just Endeavored into the Dark Ursh, but I think I would always target the Farigiraf first, because Farigiraf was the Pokemon at risk of reversing Trick Room, and so if we clear the Farigiraf, we get the knockout with and then Glacial Lance finishes it off, we're in really good shape. I also would have to potentially deal, however, with Sucker Punch from Urshifu, so that's the main mind game of do I want to predict Sucker Punch and switch into Inity. So it wasn't like we had the game won by any means, even if I had not get crit, because I would have needed to connect with a high horsepower as well, but I think the odds of us winning would have been a lot higher, especially because they didn't reverse Trick Room. And another thing to consider is I could just go for Follow Me Glacial Lance, right? I would have had an attack boost on the Calyrex Ice Rider as well. So I think the main decision to make is we knock out Iron Hands, they Psychic Noise, they bring out Dark Urshifu. We're really low HP with both of our Pokemon, so then it's a question of does the Urshifu go for Sucker Punch? Because the play you could make for my opponent is Sucker Punch and reverse Trick Room, but what I could do to counteract that is potentially bring out the Indeedee. I actually think I would probably just go for Endeavor Glacial Lance, and if they Sucker Punch me, it's fine, because then I bring out Indeedee, I can set up Trick Room again with Indeedee, and then Endure with the Sentret, and then basically slowly try to chip away at everything. But yeah, I wish we could have seen how that game would have played out without the crit. Alright, we've got Maushold, Calyrex, Shadow Rider, Urshifu, Raging Bolt, Grimmsnarl, and Rillaboom. I actually saw that this team was doing really well in Best of 1 ladder on Showdown, and so I think that team had, it's like Grassy Seed Calyrex Shadow with Fairy Terra, Draining Kiss. Follow Me, Taunt, Maushold, Super Fang, Screens Grim, Magnet, Raging Bolt, Avirilla, and Scarfursh. Might lead Hands Calyrex here. Hands, Calyrex. Dark Ursh to get the crits through. Huh, we actually have so much anti-Calyrex Shadow Rider. I think their play is to just prioritize Fairy Terra with the Calyrex on their end. What if I just lead Sentret? I'm down. This is probably our last game, so why not just bring Sentret? Dark Ursh. I'm actually going to bring Torterra instead of Hands because it has Wide Guard. I think my main fear in leading Sentret is it getting dunked on by Urshifu from their end. But let's not forget knockoff from Sentret into Calyrex. So let's see. Because it could be like Ursh Calyrex lead U-turn out into Rillaboom. It's Ursh Grim. That's fine. What do I want to do here? Light Clay. Is it Scarf? Yeah. Trick Room and Endure is what I want to go for, I think. Okay, Grim Reflex, that's fine. Be great to see strikes into... Okay, they target Calyrex, but that's fine. Okay. Sure can get set up now. I think they'll probably want to Surging Strikes now into the Sentret slot. To which I could go out into Torterra and ignore their crits. So Glacial Lance here, and I think switching to Torterra is what I'm leaning towards. Yeah. Knowing your Scarf Ursh means that that slot is left relatively exposed in subsequent turns. Okay, here's Glacial Lance. They're going to Spirit Break into us, yep. They may have just doubled up onto that slot, which is also would be fine by me. Yep. Okay, I think we end up surviving here, which would be huge. Nice. Okay. I can Bullet Seed into this now. I could see them switching out. I think I'm fine going Bullet Seed Glacial Lance here. Although I might want to prioritize knocking out Grimmsnarl instead. Yeah, I'm actually down for that. They go for Terra here. Okay, defensive Terra with Urshifu. Terra Steel. Nice. Well, this is good because I can just eliminate the Grim. I don't really care about you Surging Strikes. Okay. 2 hits. 3 hits. 4 hits. Nice. Glacial should definitely KO now. Good. Eliminate Grimmsnarl. Now I can just Headlong Rush Urshifu for a KO. It's also a big deal because it means that your Calyrex can't Terra, and I can just Wicked Blow. Really into everything. Yeah, they just target Calyrex. Perfect. Now we just bring out Dark Ursh, I think. Should be really well positioned with it. Yep, let's bring you out. Now that Terra's been committed, they don't really have any answers to Wicked Blow. Yeah, so they bring out Rillaboom, which is fine. With Rillaboom out, I think what we want to do is just go for... Do I want to Terra with this? The alternative would be Terra Stellar with this. Terra Grass with this. I think it's correct to Terra here and go for Wicked Blow as well as Headlong Rush. Yeah. I think this actually would just straight up win the game if they click Fake Out into one of the 2 slots here. I'm glad Dark Ursh finally gets some love because I haven't really been able to bring it out so far. Perfect. They Fake Out, but now we have Headlong Rush into the Urshifu slot. Beautiful. The idea behind tearing there is to just secure the knockout onto Urshifu in case they were like really bulky, in case they went for Fake Out onto the Torterra slot. But now their last one should just be Calyrex Shadow Rider. It would be really smart if they actually didn't bring Shadow Rider as their fourth, because this team is super anti-Shadow Rider. So for example, if they had brought Raging Bolt instead, you at least pressure with the Thunderclap, but it indeed is Calyrex, so that's why them committing the Steel Terror really punishes them. So now we can just go for Wicked Blow onto Calyrex for a guaranteed KO. And this is nice, right? I don't really care about the Grassy Seed. I don't care about the Reflect. We just ignore all of those boosts. Last turn of Trick Room here. So let's go for Wicked Blow, KO Calyrex, and switch Torterra out into Sentret. So then I can go for Follow Me next turn. But we'll take the guaranteed knockout onto the Calyrex right now. There's the Assault Vest. Yep. Yeah, Calyrex protects, but I think I also maybe could have just doubled up onto Rillaboom now that I think about it. But I figured I should win a 3v1 against Rillaboom here. Cool. Especially with Sash on Sentret and Follow Me. But you should be clicking Woodhammer now into the Ursh slot. Yep. Nice, and we survive. Perfect. Now I just Follow Me Wicked Blow. So, finally get a game where I can feature the Dark Urshifu, which is nice. Trick Room expires. There's Wicked Blow, and Follow Me. So that's the thing, like, with this team, you're not always going to be able to just, like, cheese with Sentret in the early game. So being able to... Like, my opponent was really smart here, right? Where they went for the Surging Strikes on a Calyrex And so Sentret was caught in an awkward spot where like I couldn't necessarily just combo Endeavor into knockouts immediately, but saving it for an endgame redirection is really nice, right? Because with the Focus Sash, I essentially get 2 follow me's with it, which is awesome. So yeah, the main thing in this game was thinking about Terra usage, right? Calyrex is extremely weak to the Dark Urshifu, especially when Trick Room is up, and that's why Choice Band Dark Ursh under Trick Room is a really effective sweeper. We haven't really brought it out in the other games today, but it was effective, really effective in this one. And yeah, the Steel Terra on the Ursh was cool, move to try to go for. But basically, since we knew they were Choice Scarf, and this is where Sentret's also really helpful, like confirming that they're Scarf with Frisk in the early game means that I don't really have to worry that much about you, because I know you're locked into Surging Strikes, right? Surging Strike's not really that threatening into Torterra, obviously, and then into the Urshifu as well. Not super scary since we're bulky, and one of the best things you can do is leverage your opponent's Choice Scarf against them, saying, you know what, I know that you can't protect, you have to switch Torterra or give up the Pokemon, and so targeting around, especially knowing like Grimmsnarl's the Pokemon also doesn't Gary Protect, means that I can leave this slot really exposed. So this was a really good game for Dark Urshifu, and Sentret was nice to just close out the game with redirection for us here. Anyway, that's going to be it for this one, so thank you so much as always for joining me. It was really fun to feature such a wild team featuring Sentret as well as Torterra, and hopefully this video has showcased how you can use really unconventional Pokemon and still have success with them. The team is obviously not the easiest to pilot, but there's a reason why this team was able to finish high in the end of the June rank season, and so yeah, this was one of my favorite episodes that I've had in this regulation so far. So thanks so much as always for joining me. If you enjoyed, I'd really appreciate it if you leave a like in the video or subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all next time. All right. Peace.